What is happening, everybody? It is August 25th. We are less than 2 weeks away from football season, and I couldn't be any more excited. Underdog dropped some more new contests today. We're also going to show you my portfolio and kind of review that as well. So I'm excited for that. And I do see they dropped another new contest. I don't think I'm going to partake in the Rottweiler Superflex, but that is an option. I am going to show my screen after the intro here. But if you guys are new here, make sure you all smash the like button, subscribe, and I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro. All right, y'all. We are here live August 25th, 2025. Like I said, less than 2 weeks away from NFL season. I mean, my goodness, we're already here. And it feels like just yesterday we were drafting in May. But my goodness, we're already here. And it's exciting. So I want to go over the new contests over on UnderdogFantasy.com. If you guys haven't, make sure y'all use the code down below. If you're new to Underdog, you can hop in a draft and get ready for your drafts today. So make sure y'all do that. Use code KGMakesUQuit, and they will match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Anyway, looks like we have the Rottweiler Superflex 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 30-seat final. Not typically my format that I like to play. I don't really love Superflex formats on Underdog especially. I do think there's some edge in there, though, that you can take advantage of. I personally probably will not be playing that contest. The first quarter part 2. They are doing another first quarter part 2. Not really a huge fan of this one either. 2 out of 12, 2 out of 5, 1 out of 4, 374-seat final. I'm not really a fan of the Underdog contests where, you know, they're going in quarters. So that's not really my cup of tea. This feels like the Rashee Rice contest to me, if I've ever seen one. So Chris Godwin, totally undraftable in this contest. Brandon Ayuk, totally undraftable in this contest. It's a little unique. Like I said, it's a little battle royale kind of format to me. I'm not going to be partaking in battle royales this year. Instead, I'm going to be reviewing my portfolio once a week and kind of talking about the guys I like for the week and the matchups I like for the week. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Not really huge on it, but hey, if that's your cup of tea, if you want to get in, you know, 50 entry max, $5 entry, not really too bad there of a price point, 250 to max. Nothing too bad there. I wouldn't do it personally, but that is just me. This is what we will be drafting today. We will be drafting the Rottweiler 2, 4,500 entrants, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 30-seat final. As you can see, winner up top takes $25,000 home, $15,000 to second, $10,000 to third, $7,450 to fourth, $6,000 to fifth, $5,000 to sixth, $2,500 to seventh, $2,000 to eighth, $1,500 to ninth, and 10th takes home $1,000. If you just make the 30-seat final, you make your entry back. Pretty solid, I would say. That's pretty standard structure for what Underdog has been doing recently. But yeah, pretty good contest so far. Before I dive into the drafts, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this website called The Exposer. Shout out. I'm gonna drop his name in the description for his Twitter, but I know he made the tool. And I'm kind of looking for it now. It's OofFTW. It's Michael on Twitter. I'll drop his @ in the description to give him some credit here, and I'll kind of show him really quickly here on Twitter. This is him. He did make the Exposers tool, which is a really good tool if you guys don't know what it is. Long story short, I'm going to show mine off here. You can see your exposures and kind of what it is here. You could choose your teams, kind of like you can on Underdog. You can combo, so you can see your combo views. So let's just say I want to see how many times I've drafted Jaden Daniels with Michael Pittman. Let's just say. I've only drafted it with 2 teams, and it's a $6 entry fee, and there's your exposure to how many times you've done it. Let's just say Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel. I'm sure that's a lot higher of a number. Yeah. So 12 teams have that. $172 of entry fees have that. So you could see kind of 2-player stacks here if you want. You could see how many times you've done, Jalen Hurts, like week 16 or week 17 correlation with Jalen Hurts and maybe Khalil Shakir, just to kind of see what the exposure is there. I've done it 3 times with $20 of entry fees. Kind of cool tool here. Also, you can break down your team view here to see kind of, which teams have the most capital as far as the positions go and where you spent your draft capital at. As you can see, this one was a lot of running backs. This one was a lot of receiver. You can kind of see that and break it down here. Also, you can go by ADP and see kind of where your ADP ended up lying. So, for example, this one says I have a plus 165 ADP. Therefore, I got Ja'Cory Krosky at 192. He's going at 124 now. So that would show up as a plus on your ADP. So that is why that plus minus number is kind of where that comes into play. And that's where that ADP number is. Capital right here. This is kind of based on your ADP cap. So my capital here is kind of, I don't really understand what the capital is. Honestly, I know what draft capital means. The value based on pick, but I don't really understand in the regard to this, how how we're reading this. But I do understand the ADP, and seeing that is kind of valuable too. The board tool, this tool here is kind of showing where you take each player, and kind of, where you've taken them the most at. So Tucker Kraft, 15%, and that would be, I don't know what round that is, but these are kind of like your exposures of where you take each player at each spot, like where you take them the most. NFL team view. This you can sort by draft capital or you can sort by entry fee. As you can see, my Colts, I have been drafting a lot of Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, DJ Giddens. So I've been getting a lot of them. Obviously, I haven't gotten a lot of Daniel Jones, which is unfortunate for me. But, you can see what teams you're drafting the most based on the money amount. Obviously, Jets, Saints, Vegas, not really super high. Cincinnati, I'm not super high on Cincinnati. That's a little scary. Browns, I'm a little high on. Denver, I'm a little high. Carolina, I'm high. Ravens, I'm high. San Fran, I'm high. Tampa Bay, we're not high enough. Washington, we're pretty high. So this is a good way to kind of see in a chart view of kind of what your exposures look like, at least as of today, of what mine look like. Eagles, I'd like to get a little bit more of them. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good view for that. Portfolio view, this is a all-in-one kind of, this is what it looks like in your portfolio. So we can see what kind of builds I have built here, mostly 2-6-7-3s. I find those to be my favorite kinds of builds. 3-6-7-2s, 2-7-7-2, 2-6-8-2, 3-5-7-3, 2-5-8-3, 3-6-6-3, 2-7-6-3, 3-5-8-2. You got some unique ones scattered in throughout here that I don't really do a whole lot. But like I said, this is really good to see your roster constructions. You also can see your top holdings. This is a number referenced based on draft capital. Once again, kind of how many times you've taken them. Gibbs is probably the most draft capital held guy I have. And it makes sense because he's my most owned round 1 guy. So him and Nico Collins are my 2 most owned round 1 players. So it makes sense. And here you can see how much you drafted as far as the months go. As you can see, July really picked up. August, I've done a lot of drafting in August. June and June and May, I really didn't do a ton of drafting this year. July, I didn't do as many as I probably should have, but August, I really picked up the pace and done quite a bit. Here you can see your draft slot frequency as well. This is really nice to see as well. You can see if you've been screwed, which to me, I think 24 drafts is an ideal amount for the 1 slot. Obviously, you can see I've gotten the 7 spot, the 12 spot, and the 5 spot more than anywhere else. So hence the Jahmyr Gibbs and Nico Collins kind of pick. The number 7 spot's probably one of the worst spots to be in this year, and I've been there a lot, unfortunately. So top stacks, you can see what your top stacks are. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews are my 2 tops. Jared Goff, J-Mo, Stafford, Puka, Allen, Kincaid, Love, Reed, Cam Ward, Ridley, Penix, London, Stroud, Nico, Caleb, Colston, Brock Purdy, Kittle, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Lamar, Bateman, Josh Allen, Palmer. You can see kind of what your best stacks are here. That breaks it down in your portfolio. Like I said, I really wanted to show this to you guys because I do feel like this is a really, really, really good tool. So if you guys aren't using it, make sure you guys go use it. And shout out once again to Michael for this tool. If you guys want, go over to his Twitter page, check it out. Really good tool. But anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time. We have loaded up, and we are ready to go for the Rottweiler 2. So 11 people. So we got a fresh lobby waiting on people. Plus, let's see. You got 2 people in the lobby, 3 people in the lobby now. But yeah, let's talk about the NFL news for the day. Obviously, everybody's talking about it. Terry McLaurin re-signs with the Washington Commanders. I mean, nobody's really super surprised. I wouldn't think. I'd say we see a slight bump in his ADP. But I really don't think that it's gonna significantly impact his ADP. So I'm kind of looking here. I definitely misspelled Rottweiler on the on the oh my goodness, the you know what I'm trying to say, the title. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Definitely misspelled it. Well, on the cover art, I guess I should say, the thumbnail. I definitely misspelled it. That's my bad. I will fix it after the stream, probably. But yeah, we need 8 people to get in the Rottweiler contest. But yeah, I mean, Terry McLaurin, like I said, signed for $92 million. I would say some of that is incentive. A lot of it's probably going to be. So it makes sense. I think he's going to have to play to earn a lot of that $92 million, probably half of it, like I said. That's my 2 cents. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm happy for Terry. He did get paid. That's great. That's great news for Terry. That's great news for Jaden Daniels. Now I can bump Jaden Daniels back up to my QB2, where he rightfully belongs, behind Josh Allen, and keep things moving. So I think Jaden Daniels has a lot of potential this year. I think it's great that we see a step forward for him. I think early in the year, I was looking to get Lamar Jackson. I didn't really get him as much as I'd like. So I've been getting Jaden Daniels a lot more. My portfolio, you know, we can go here and see player view, quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, you know, we're pretty high on. Josh Allen, we're extremely high on. Lamar Jackson, you can see we're a little bit higher on because we've been getting to him more recently. But Jaden Daniels has definitely more fees attended to him than Lamar Jackson. We've been getting Lamar Jackson in those cheap $1 contests, the little Dalmatian slow drafts. And those are starting to finish up, so it's starting to really factor into my exposures as well. Because now that those are finishing up, you know, we're starting to see some data come in. We have 40 of the little Dalmatians of the 101 that I maxed. So we're starting to get that information in, you know, with those. So we might have to come over here and click on some buttons here for a little bit here until we get the Rottweiler full. But as you can see, like Jaden Daniels here went pick 46. Jalen Hurts went pick 41. That to me is just an extreme value in both places. You just take both the values and you just try to fill out the rest of the team and figure it out from there is what you really should do with that. We're going to go ahead and draft Romeo Doubs there. Curry, what's going on? Hope all is well with you. Glad to see you in the stream. Hope everything's going all right. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Josh Jacobs, and Marion Hampton. Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift at a pretty good value there. Jerome Ford. We got Chase, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen, Romeo Doubs, and Cedric Tillman. Anders and Chickaconquo. I'm not going to take any more Giants. I don't want to. Do we go Chargers double? We have Herbert. Why not? Why not go Chargers double with Quentin Johnston? Why not? I mean, it's probably going to be a regret move at the end of the season, but why not? Why not give it a run? DJ Giddens. We're not going to go with DJ Giddens. We're going to go with Roche. Oh, wait, we got Swift already. This is definitely a Giddens team. Yeah, we're going to have to go Giddens. That's fine. Let's see here. Are we ready to draft yet in the Rottweiler? I think we are. Yes. Okay. We got the 106. I mean, in my opinion, the 106 is probably one of my favorite places to draft this year because they leave you with the last person that's of the elites. You most likely get Jefferson, and you're happy. So that's kind of where I'm at. As you can see, I have my custom rankings in here. I moved Jahmyr Gibbs back down on Bijan because I think I still like Gibbs over Bijan. It's just I need to get to Bijan a little bit more than where I have him currently. As you can see with the running backs here, if we go to the Falcons really quickly here before this draft starts, we have Bijan at just at 8%, right at average pretty much. So we really want to get a little bit more of him. I'd like to be slightly above average, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Jahmyr Gibbs, we're at 15.5%. I mean, we're all in on Jahmyr Gibbs this year, guys. So Gibbs to me has been my 102 most of the year. I think you can make a case for him being the 101. I like him better than Saquon. I like him better than Bijan. He's being used as a receiver. I think that could get really, really, really interesting. A lot of those guys are not going to be, you know, out wide like Gibbs is. So I think that could be really, really interesting. And you see, we do get Justin Jefferson returning to practice. So good news there for Justin Jefferson. I think that should bump him ahead of Saquon Barkley, in my personal opinion. Right now, my rankings are Jamar Chase at 1, Jahmyr Gibbs at 2, Bijan at 3, Lamb at 4, Jefferson at 5, Barkley at 6. I'm just off Barkley, and I'm right at average, I believe, with Barkley. Let me take a peek here real quick just to take a look. I'm actually below average on Barkley, and you can see I'm kind of trying to make that bet more with Will Shipley. I know it sounds really stupid to say this, and I'm just going to say it and sound stupid. You know, Saquon Barkley's on the cover of Madden this year, guys. So, you know, the Madden curse is very real, and I think regression is definitely due. I don't think it's going to take an expert to tell you that. Do I think he's still an elite running back? Yes. Do I still think he's a top 5 running back? Absolutely. But his situation is still one of the best, if not the best in the NFL. I totally understand all the above. It's just when you have that much wear and tear on your body, it's kind of rough. And Shipley showed quite a bit last season. So I think that also helps Shipley's case a little bit to have some standalone value. We see Genty and Brock Bowers go off the board at the turn there. So we're going an all Vegas team here. That's pretty interesting. I haven't seen that done in a while. It used to be done a lot more common early on, but definitely an interesting look there. Brian Thomas Jr. falling to 15 so far. HN news came out today. HN's fine. So they're taking the cautious approach, whatever that means. But, you know, cautious and football really don't go together. So that to me reads Devon Achane's fine. Maybe he just had a little blip. So I like Devon Achane this year in PPR formats quite a bit. Do you keep Josh Allen or Derrick Henry? Henry in the first and Allen in the third. 12-man half PPR draft 10th. I guess it depends on your league mates, but really you're not getting either one at an extreme discount there, in my opinion. I think Derrick Henry you're overpaying for in the first, so I probably keep Josh Allen in the third. That's just my 2 cents, but I'm not huge on keeping quarterbacks either, especially if you're in a single QB format. I don't know if you're in a single QB format or super flex, but if it's super flex, especially Josh Allen is the answer there. That's a huge discount there. So we do go AJ Brown in the second round. We know AJ Brown is having some hammy issues. He is on the field running. He's still running routes. I mean, I'm not too concerned with this at all. You know, the Eagles put everybody on their injury report. They put Devontae Smith on there too. I'm not real worried, honestly. AJ Brown missing time. I don't see it. So we get 2 guys that I feel are pretty elite at the receiver position. And if we can land one of these running backs, we're off to a really hot start. Single QB, yeah. I mean, honestly, Derrick Henry, I feel like you could get in the first round again anyway, so it's not really worth keeping him. So I would probably do Josh Allen myself. Kyren Williams falls to us here at pick 30. Pretty standard start so far for us, I think. Getting 2 elite receivers and a running back that I feel is pretty stable at the position. Feels pretty good as a good start here. I do like Kyren Williams quite a bit this year. He is one of those guys that has provided stability over the years and has been a staple to the Rams offense. Looks like Stafford's going to be good to go. So that kind of ups Kyren in my rankings a little bit closer. I think he passes Amarion Hampton for me. There's good reports coming from Najee as well from camp that he's running, and he seems good. So we'll see about Najee Harris. Obviously, you know, that's speculative, and I'm still not quite sure. He's still not doing a ton of stuff, but there is good work being done with Najee. So I don't know how much time he's going to miss, if any. So we'll see. I mean, Najee's kind of an up in the air kind of guy at this point. So I traded Judy and Devontae Smith for Pickens and Coleman. Did I lose this trade? Yes, I think you did. Judy and Devontae Smith, I would rather have than Pickens and Coleman. But if you feel like Pickens is just going to go for 1,300 yards this year alongside CeeDee Lamb, then maybe. But like even then, it's just like this could be a career year for Pickens. So I get the upside. Coleman is kind of the guy I think you could have done better with. I'm not a huge Keon Coleman fan. I think he's good for best ball purpose. I don't know how many times you can stick him in your lineup in a weekly basis and actually play him. So that to me is a little bit troublesome. So, you know, I think you did lose, unfortunately, Henny. That's okay. That's okay. We bounce back from trades like that, and we go and trade Pickens and try to get Pickens value to what that is. Or we take somebody on our team and try to buy him or sell him high. We get Jalen Hurts here. Like I said, this feels like a pretty standard start for a Jefferson team. You know, that's beautiful to me. I love this. Hold on, guys. My mom's wanting me to call her real quick. She's having some technical issues, so let's see what she's going through. Hold on. All right, sorry guys. I was like I said, fixing old people electronic issues. Okay. So let's see. We have Jerry Jeudy, Chris Olave, Tony Pollard, a lot of crappy offenses here. I do think Jerry Jeudy has a lot of potential. I think we are going to go Jerry Jeudy here and keep going with the receivers. Jerry Jeudy, to me, is the best available there. I do think that with the announcement of Flacco being the starting QB, I do think that there is very heavy potential that we see Kenny Pickett get traded to another team, potentially like Vegas, as a backup quarterback. That could be something. I don't really see the Browns getting 4 quarterbacks in their room and coming into the season with 4 quarterbacks. So they either trade one of the rookies, they cut one of the rookies, or they trade Kenny Pickett, which I think Kenny Pickett's going to net them the best value. And Joe Flacco, if he's the starter all season, I think we could see a Jerry Jeudy year that's potentially could be just as good, if not better, than last year. So I really like Jerry Jeudy at that price. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not really a huge Connor guy. Swift, I'm not really big on. Pollard, I'm really, really big on. I almost took Pollard there, but I decided to wait just a little bit longer on running back. I'm okay taking Montgomery. I'm okay taking Aaron Jones. So I'm okay with both those guys, especially with the way the team's shaping out right now. Calvin Ridley is one of my favorite picks this year. Like I've said previously, I think that we're in for a good season with Calvin Ridley. And at his price, I do think that it's a very cheap price to pay for a wide receiver one in an offense that could outperform expectation, especially if Cam Ward is as good as, a number 1 overall pick should be. I feel like Cam Ward is one of those number 1 overall picks that everybody kind of hasn't really talked about. And you use that to your advantage. No news is good news, in my opinion. And I've said that quite a bit about some guys. No news is good news. I think that's good news that we're not hearing that he's bad. Obviously, you could counter my statement saying we haven't heard any news that he's great either. But he has looked good in camp. He has made some good throws. So I do think that Cam Ward is going to live up to the hype somewhat. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. We're going to take David Montgomery here. Once again, I'm not a huge Montgomery fan, but I do think as an RB2, he's serviceable. He's going to have his weeks, obviously. And I think you can make the counterproductive argument here of, if he's healthy all year, him and Gibbs could go back to that timeshare. And, am I betting on that? No. In my portfolio, no. But for this team in particular, I need a Montgomery to step in and be an RB2 for this team as it makes sense for this team. Downs goes off the board. Jaden Reed off the board. A lot of these RBs, like I said, are really, really ugly. After I would say Breece Hall, even James Cook, honestly. After James Cook pick 48 is a really good value. After James Cook, it gets pretty rough. Kamara, I really like. Walker, I'm not a huge fan of. Hubbard's okay. Harvey, we'll see. Pacheco, I don't like. Connor, I don't like. Pollard's like the last guy on the board where I'm sitting there really happy to get him. So, after Pollard, it gets extremely bad pretty quick. It's a lot of battles. It's a lot of not unknowns, it feels like. And it feels like we should know these by now, but we truly don't. And even something as simple as like the Giants backfield, like Tracy versus Cam Scatabo, like that could be a winner. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Scatabo really could win that job. I'm not drafting that as such. I have Tracy more so than Scatabo. I think Tracy's better. And I also think they could use both backs creatively, and they could put Tracy in at the slot because he used to be a receiver. So I think there's more ways to Tracy outperforming expectation than Scatabo relative to cost. I think Tracy is a little bit more expensive than what I'd like to pay now, but I did get a lot of him early where he was in the 110s. And at that price, I felt at that point that it was worth taking a swing on. And that's kind of what I was taking a swing on, was the fact that he might be able to play some slot. He might be able to take the ball out of the backfield. He might be kind of like a gadgety kind of guy, which is kind of nice to have, especially on a team like the Giants, who need offensive weapons regardless of where they're at. Because outside of Neighbors, they don't have a whole lot. So they definitely need to give Russ Wilson some help. I like Pittman here. I also like Coleman. Higgins, I'm kind of getting off of a little bit. I have quite a bit of Higgins. I really don't want more. In this case, I'm going to take Keon Coleman here. to get that kind of week 17 correlation with the Eagles. It makes sense to me to get that upside swing with Keon Coleman. Do I think he's exceptional? No, but I do think he has spike week potential. And obviously he's still young, so he could still outperform expectation quite a bit. But yeah, like I said, if you guys are new here at the beginning of the stream, I had said this. Make sure y'all drop a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps my channel grow, and it helps my content get out there. So I would greatly appreciate it. If I've answered any of your questions today, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Patrick Mahomes is a big faller here. I don't know why. If there's any Mahomes news I missed or anything, I don't really think so. But if he falls back to me, I don't think he's going to. But if he does, we're taking him. I'm just point blank honesty here. Krosky over Mahomes, like, in what world? Not in my world. Just take him for the value at this point and move on. I don't care if I don't have a stack. He's probably going to take him. Most likely. So I'm probably not even going to get a chance at him anyway. So he might not, though. He didn't take him. All right. Well, we're just going to take Mahomes for the value here. I'm good with that. I mean, pick 102 for Pat Mahomes. That, to me, is extreme value. I don't care if I have him stacked or not, honestly. I genuinely don't care. When you get a quarterback like Mahomes at that kind of a value, you stop at quarterback and you just build around it. That's how I feel you have to play these draft rooms sometimes, is if there's falling value like this and it's extreme, you take it unstacked and you take the point projection at that point. Because him and Jalen Hurts, that at least secures me a top 10 QB every single week, I feel like, for this team. Maybe even a top 5 quarterback every single week is how I feel. Especially with everything considered about the Chiefs this year, I do think they're going to throw the ball a little bit more than they have in past. Obviously, their defense is pretty good. It's probably the second best in the division behind the truly tenured Broncos. But anyway, I do think that they're going to have some competition in their division this year from the Denver Broncos. And it feels like that this is the first real year that the Chiefs have had competition in the division for quite some time. And it's the first time I've felt confident in saying it too. At the end of the day, I still feel like they really could push for the division, the Broncos. So I do think that the Chiefs are going to have to play most of the year this year and play like they actually mean it. So their schedule's probably a little tougher. And I do think, like I said, within that division's a really good division, all things considered. So if we can get Tucker Kraft here, that would be great. Like I said, I really haven't got a lot of Cam Scatabo. This is more so where I've been drafting my tight ends. So Tucker Kraft, welcome to the team. Got a lot of Tucker Kraft. I mean, this is kind of where I like to draft my tight ends. I don't love the QBs. Obviously, there's not really any QBs in this range because I don't have them selected. But I don't really love the QBs in this range. I'd rather just wait if I'm going to wait for like a Bryce Young, Geno Smith, Matt Stafford. But it's okay if I take one of these guys. I'm not huge on them, but it's not the end of the world if I do take one. It's just to get a stack mostly. But yeah, I mostly take Tucker Kraft there or David Njoku. If we go over here to tight end real quick, and we go, let's just go Packers and Cleveland. You can see how much exposures I have to both these guys. I have a lot of confidence in both of them to outperform their expectation. Let's put it that way. They're the bottom end of the tight end ones, and I do think that they have very good potential to move up ahead of guys like Kelsey, guys like Warren, stuff like that. I've also got a lot of Warren, so, maybe Warren's a bad example, but I do think those guys can outperform expectation is what I'm trying to say. Tank Bigsby at pick 123. That's just gross in my eyes. I'm not a huge fan of this range at all of players. I think they all kind of suck, and their prices are horrible. So I think in this range, I like to double click tight end here because I just feel like that's where the value is. Or if I need a quarterback, that's where I'm taking it. So we're just going to go Jake Ferg here and keep it pushing. This way we have the optionality to stop at 2 tight ends if we want. We don't have to, but we can. And feel pretty decent about it. Jake Ferg is probably my most drafted tight end, if I had to take a guess. He's my 3rd most drafted tight end behind Kraft and Mark Andrews. So this combo here, I've drafted quite a bit, along with Jake Ferg and David Njoku, or Andrews and Jake Ferg. Like, excuse me. But yeah, I've drafted that combination of tight ends quite a bit when doing this. So it makes sense for me to get to those tight ends, as I feel like that range there is probably the best value to just grab a tight end, because realistically, these running backs here are just I mean, they're cuffs pretty much, except Javonte. Javonte is really the only non-cuff there. I don't know how excited you can get about Javonte personally. I'm not huge on Javonte. As you can see, I'm trying to get more of him because Jaden Blue is the recent news, but I'm more so in on the cheapest option, which is Miles Sanders. So, take that for what it is. But this website's awesome, guys. If you draft best ball, you really need this website. Like, it's so good. It's extremely good. So I'm glad I found this out, but I wish I would have found out about it a little sooner. But it is what it is. Bow, 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 bow. What's up, Skip? Trey Benson off the board. Do you have a lot of Trey Benson? I have a lot of Trey Benson, so like I said, not on Connor much. We gotta go look at that real quick. Let's see, Arizona. As you can see, not on Connor hardly at all. Definitely more of Trey Benson than Connor. Could that bite me in my butt? Sure, but I'm way more in on that being the case, of him actually, like, not necessarily winning the job, but him being the best candidate for the job. We could go 3rd tight end here and go Goddard and get a stack. I don't know that I'm going to do that, though. Instead, I think we're going to go Hollywood Brown and keep it pushing. Get a little Mahomes back stack here with Hollywood Brown. I'm okay with that. We're 10 picks away. There's still some running backs here that I feel are even with each other. Judkins still hasn't signed. I'm getting a little bit worried about Judkins. I haven't really heard much, which in this case, no news is bad news. I mean, we really need Judkins to sign is kind of what we're needing at this point. I think the first few weeks we could see Dylan Sampson be the leader of this backfield. Jerome Ford could factor in as well. I do think they're both very, very likely to split down the middle and ultimately not really have any value either way until Judkins gets back. And when Judkins gets back, he takes over that field, which I think is what will happen. Obviously, I don't know that's what's going to happen, but that's what I think will happen. I think Judkins not getting these reps is really bad for him. And that's why he's falling again. I mean, people are worried that he's not going to sign, and it's kind of uncharted from what we've seen here. I mean, we've never seen something like this before. So it makes it kind of difficult to predict what outcome is going to happen here. We see I have the least amount of running backs, so it's pretty obvious what position I'm going to go in this range. Banda Bear might take my pick here. Very easily could. Jaden Blue, he doesn't take my pick. Very good. We're going to go Dylan Sampson most likely here. He has 2 receivers. He needs to start going receiver pretty bad. I don't know how those receivers are going to keep up with my receivers, but hey, that's just what you get. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. My running backs can at least keep up. I do like Dylan Sampson. I do like Austin Eckler. Do we want to go Eckler? I'm going Eckler, man. I'm going Eckler. I like Eckler way too much. And I think we need more guaranteed points throughout the year. And I think Eckler's going to give me that. I get the Ja'Cory Krosky hype, but man, how come Eckler's price hasn't moved up to like 3 rounds from now? Like, why is he not where Javonte Williams is my question. Like, genuinely speaking, why is he not going ahead where Javonte Williams is? Because what's the difference in his situation and Javonte's, realistically speaking? It's not much. Ray Davis, Trey Benson, Brian Robinson, Tootin, Ramondre. I'd almost take Eckler over all these guys. Like, I don't know why he's going so late. It doesn't make much sense to me. Why his price hasn't moved. And I get it. The Ja'Cory Krosky is like the slappies right now, but like, I guess I'm just anti-slappy. I don't know. To me, I like the boring pick there a lot more because he's a lot cheaper. And I do think he actually has realistic upside to have some weeks, especially if Ja'Cory is not as good as Washington thinks he is. And if the Washington Commanders have to throw the football, guess what? Eckler's going to be in more. Eckler's going to be in a lot more. More opportunity, most likely equals more points. So that's where I'm at with that. Could be a hot take. Could not be. Who knows? Najee Harris, once again, still sitting here. I know this is a risk to take Najee, but I'm at 160. I mean, realistically, what are you risking here? I mean, him or Rachaad White? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Rachaad White may take over for Najee, like in my rankings. Nick Chubb or Najee Harris? Come on. Like, we're taking Najee Harris over Nick Chubb, man. Ollie Gordon or Najee Harris. Jerome Ford or Najee Harris. Like, all these guys, I'm taking Najee Harris over. Najee Harris is actually going to have a standalone value. And if Amarian Hampton is not as good as people say he is, well, guess what? Najee Harris has put up 4 consecutive years of 1,000-yard seasons. He has never put up a non-1,000-yard season. I just want that to be known because I think a lot of people forget that. I know he's not great. I know he's not fun. I know he's not a fun click. But at pick 160, what other guy has a production profile like that? There really isn't one. Like, Nick Chubb, since the injury, has been absolute garbage. Garbage. So that to me is an easy click. H.N. Henry or Chase Brown at the 11 turn. I'd probably rank that H.N. Then is it PPR? Is it PPR or non-PPR? Because if it's PPR, I'd probably go H.N. Chase Henry. If it's non-PPR, I would go H.N. Henry Brown. Is probably how I would do it. 100% going Will Shipley. Pretty easy pick there as well. Like I said, Saquon's on the cover of Madden this year, guys. I mean, sometimes you just chalk it up to something as simple as that, and that's your reasoning. I mean, Shipley, to me, is he showed last year that he could do it, and anybody can run behind the Eagles' offensive line. Let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, if Saquon goes down, this is a team bet here for the Eagles. If Saquon goes down, Jalen and AJ are going to go nuclear. And then Shipley's going to be the guy that you have as the backfield for that team. Like that to me is an extremely good bet if you can get Jalen Hurts, Will Shipley, AJ Brown, or Jalen Hurts, Will Shipley, Devontae Smith. Like, if you can get that combo somehow, that to me is a really good combo to have because you're making the full bet against Saquon and you're getting the starting running back for the Philadelphia Eagles at an insanely cheap price. And then you're doing something with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown / Devontae Smith where they're going to throw more anyways. So that to me is an extremely good bet to make in these kinds of lobbies. It makes a lot of sense. The Eagles are a very good constructed team. They have a very good defense. So it's not like if they lose Saquon Barkley, they are just cooked. They're not cooked. They're not even close to cooked. So that's where I stand with that. Cade Otton off the board. I do think Cade Otton should be getting pushed up boards a little bit more than what he is. I haven't gotten to him a lot because I usually take these 2 tight ends and then I take a tight end at the end, like Jawan Johnson. But I do think Cade Otton is a great click right now. With Godwin's uncertainty, You know, anything happens to Mike Evans, you know, we could see Cade Otton become the number 2 target, maybe even the number 1 target. You know, maybe Emeka Egbuka is not that good, and he's still the number 2 target. You know, I mean, we've seen Cade Otton produce. Is he a fun click? Once again, no, he's not a fun click. That's why my slappy profile is literally like in 30 percentile on this thing. Like, I don't like this. The slappy picks are fun. Don't get me wrong, but like Hollywood Brown is not a slappy pick at all. Tucker Kraft is probably not a slappy pick. Jake Ferg might be a little bit slappy. Will Shipley is definitely slappy. Austin Eckler is 110% not slappy. Like, I'm just going to keep it real with you. Rico Dowdle, not slappy. Not slappy, but he's sexy at this pick. 187 for a guy who actually broke out last year and is in an offense that I think is ascending. And on top of that, I don't know that Chuba Hubbard is all that good. I mean, he's fine, but is he great? No, he's not even close to great. I think, you know, it's not bad. I've been grabbing a lot of Jatavion Sanders in this last round. I do think Jatavion Sanders has a real chance to be the number 2. Because after Tetero McMillan, it's I mean, who else? Jalen Coker? Leggett looks horrible. I'm just keeping it honest. Leggett looks horrible. I've always said Leggett's horrible. I mean, I've never been a Leggett guy, so it makes sense for me. But if you like Leggett, I don't know, man. I'd watch some film. I don't like it. I do not like it whatsoever. So far our team is Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Kyron Williams, David Montgomery, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Will Shipley, Rico Dowdle, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Keon Coleman, Hollywood Brown, Tucker Kraft, and Jake Ferguson rounding it out. And I do think we're going to go to Jatavion Sanders here to add to this tight end room, and then we'll probably take a little bit of we'll probably take a running back. Probably go Giddens if he falls. We'll probably go Monangai if he falls. I'm not going to go Kareem Hunt. Corum. I'm not really a big Corum guy. Justice Hill, I've been slapping a lot. Once again, not a slappy pick, but in my opinion, he's a really fun click. I mean, Justice Hill has the potential to be in a really good offense and have a really good role. So, makes a lot of sense for me, but I guess a lot of people don't think that makes much sense. They want Keaton Mitchell instead. The slappy pick. There you go. There's your slappy pick. Keaton Mitchell. That's your slappy pick. Let's see. I'm in a 10-man league, half-point PPR. My team is Lamar, Neighbors, Evans, Derrick Henry, Travion Henderson, Swift, and Tucker Kraft. Bench is Diggs, Judy, Pollard, Bigsby, Ramondre, and Wandale Robinson. Thoughts on my team? I mean, it looks pretty good. You got an elite quarterback in a 10-team format, which is nice. Tucker Kraft, you would like to see an elite tight end in that format in the 10-man league. You would personally, I think you would like to see that, but you do have Neighbors. Evans, Henry, that's a little bit risky to run that. Swift, I'm not a huge guy on. You do have good depth here at receiver with Diggs, Judy, and you have Tony Pollard. So you have really good depth here at receiver and running back positions. How many positions are you starting is the real question. Are you starting, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, 1 flex? Are you starting 2 flexes? Kind of depends on that, your format. But, if your format is that 1 quarterback, 2 receiver, 2 running back, and a flex, I would try to take your depth and trade it. I would try to tag Evans. I would take Evans and maybe Evans and Henderson, or Evans and Henry, and go get a Trey McBride and something. Trey McBride and a receiver or something, or a running back. Because at this point, if you trade Henderson or Swift, you still have Pollard, but after Pollard, it gets a really rough. I think at receiver, you having Neighbors is fine, and then Judy as a receiver too is more than okay. If you can get Trey McBride, that's what I would do, personally. BJ Giddens falls to us here, and this guy thinks Justice Hill is really good, so I definitely agree with him. I mean, Justice Hill is a really good click. So is Miles Sanders in this last round. I mean, these guys are both really good clicks. So we're going to go Giddens, and we're going to call it receiver because I think our receivers are really good. So we build a 2-7-6-3. Once again, not really one of my common portfolio builds here, but 2-7-6-3, we built it 14 times. I mean, I get why it's not, but I do think we need that extra running back. I want to try and flip Evans Diggs or Evans Swift for a Kyron or Drake London. I don't think you need to flip him for a receiver or running back. Your running back crew's fine. I mean, Derrick Henry and Travion Henderson, those two alone are really good. And then you also have Tony Pollard, which is extremely good. You can start Tony Pollard until Travion Henderson takes over that backfield, which I think is what I would do. Then you have 3 very viable running backs, I think. So I don't know that you need to trade for a Kyron or Drake. I think you have plenty of depth there, especially in a 10-teamer. Plus, there's going to be guys on the waiver wire you can pick up that get in, that their starter gets injured and you got to go pick up their cuff, like Ja'Cory Krosky or something like that. Have you won a contest before? No, I have not won a contest before on Underdog. It's extremely hard. I made some finals, if that counts for anything. But, I took last year off, and the year before that, I made 3 finals. 1 in Best Ball Mania, and 1 in the Puppy 4, and 1 in, what was the last one? I can't remember what the last one was. It was one of those $3 contests, though. But, yeah, I made some finals. I've never won. As far as the DFS streets goes, I've come in top 5, God knows how many times. I don't even want to talk about how many times because it's actually sad. It makes me sad. So, take that for what it is. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely placed in some contests before. I consume content constantly. I think one of my best takes was rookie year Rashee Rice. Won me a lot of money. So, take that for what it is. Rashee Rice actually paid for my engagement ring. So that was 2 years ago. Shout out to Rashee Rice 2 or 3 years ago. I guess it would be 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, shout out Rashee Rice. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I mean, hopefully we can take one down this year. Last year we took off. Like I said, we're trying to save for marriage and stuff. So I took last year completely off. Didn't do a whole lot of drafting last year. I don't know why this isn't loading. There we go. But yeah, I mean, if you go back and you can look here, main slate, Turkey, we didn't really do well in, but this, we had a 3rd and a 5th place finish. Obviously we tied with this dude. So basically 3rd, 4th, and 5th was us. In the Turkey Day contest a couple years back. Like I said, we took last year pretty much totally off. I was more of a dynasty content creator last year. Take that for what it is. Let's see. Main slate. Obviously, this is me kind of getting my introductory level. Came in 39th. A little bit of a big week here, but it was fun. I mean, there's a lot of fun, to be had. There's some big wins in here for NBA as well. I mean, NBA stuff, I've had a few weeks where I've won big. Here's one, for example. Thursday Night Hoops came in 15th. Another one, if you go down a little ways here, there's another one, 586 with a 2 entry, came in 4th place. Here's another one, 1,524, came in 5th place. So yeah, I mean, I've placed in some contests on Underdog pretty highly, but I've never won one. I've come close, but I've never won. So we do need 5 more people for the Rottweiler 2. So hop in if you guys want to draft. +4 Rottweiler. Okay. Bryce Ladd in the late 26th first for Stroud and Nico. Who do you think wins? I love super flex questions. Dynasty questions. First off, is it a super flex league, Anthony? That's the first question. Second question. Let's see. It's a late 26th first. Okay. So automatically I say Stroud and Bryce. I like Stroud a little bit more than Bryce. Nico, I like a lot more than Ladd. But are you a contending team or are you a rebuild team? Because I think you're getting good enough value at the quarterback position with Stroud to make up the value in dynasty format between Ladd and Nico as far as age concerns go. So the Ladd side gets a late 26 first. I'm okay dealing my late 26 first at this point. I'm more than okay dealing those if I'm a contending team. On my contenders, I'm trying to get rid of my 26 firsts as best as I can because I'm not going to be getting rid of 27 picks at all. Obviously a lot can happen in college ball this season to where 27 firsts might go down, but we already know Jeremiah Smith's in that class. Ryan Williams is in that class. More than likely, DJ Lagway's coming out as well. Arch Manning is most likely going to be in the 27 class as well. So you got 4 guys right there alone. That would be the 101 in the 26 class. I think you can make a case for 5 guys in the 27 class to be the 101 this year. If Lenora Sellers stays another year, there's another one that could be the 101 this year. I think 26 firsts to me are not nearly as valuable unless you are a contending team. If you can get a early first this year and you can get, Jordan Tyson, or you can get, what's his name? Nick Singleton, or you can get Jeremiah Love. You can get one of those 3 guys this year. I like those 3 guys quite a bit in 2026. But after that, it gets really rocky. Obviously, it can change. Based on who declares and who doesn't, it can change quite drastically. But that's where I'm at with it right now. I would probably take the Stroud Nico side, but it's close. It is close. I do think that's a very close deal, but that's a good question. Yeah. Let's see. First year playing best ball and underdog, drafting is fun. Yeah, drafting is fun. I mean, this is my second year really diving in deep to best ball. And the good news about best ball too is the community around it is pretty cool too. So, I see some guys in here that I literally talk to in Discord, like TV Bucks. I know I talked to him. He's a cool guy. Really cool dude. I recognize GUTP's name. I don't really know how to say his name, but it's GUTP. That's what I call him. There's a lot of guys that I talk to almost daily about best ball and about players and about hot takes and player takes and stuff like that. And the community around it is so far relatively positive. That I've been around. The Dog Pound Discord is pretty good place to be. There's a lot of good guys in there. So also there's a lot of cool tools that you can get just from, having best ball Twitter. So a lot of cool tools like this that you could get that really enhance your best ball experience, so to speak. And really, if you're a big data guy, like I love numbers. This is great. This is a great tool. Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua at the 1-2 turn. That's interesting. Okay. Haven't seen that one before. Wow. Okay. So we're going to see a Neighbors Amon-Ra start. Okay. Never mind. We're going to see a Derrick Henry Amon-Ra start, which is pretty common. You just flip it around and, it's not that rare, but it's interesting nonetheless to see Amon-Ra fall to 16. AJ Brown off the board. If Achane falls to us, that'd be great. I don't think he's going to, but Chase Brown off the board over Achane, which is just blasphemy if you ask me. I'm okay with Bowers and Achane here. I'm okay with both of them. More than happily. Wow. Okay. Happily we'll be taking that. Achane at pick 20. Thank you. Achane and Jefferson. Clap it up, fellas. Clap it up. Oh, I love these lobbies. Yes. Oh, yes. August lobbies are the best lobbies. You get guys that are worried and they just don't want to lean into it. And, I get it. But, man. Achane and Justin Jefferson, that's let's go. We will happily take that. Happily take that. Jonathan Taylor off the board. If we can get elite tight end and go Trey McBride at that spot, at this next spot, we have potentially an RB1, receiver 1, and tight end 1 this year. It's beautiful. If I can get, I don't really want Lamar. Realistically, I want one of these two, which I'm going to move my camera here because it shows the queue and it hides my queue. So it makes life a lot easier for everybody else. They can see the queue. Oh, there goes Trey McBride. Unfortunate. Is what it is at the end of the day. You know, T. Higgins off the board. CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers. See where he goes here. Goes Josh. I'm not taking Lamar. I don't want Lamar. I'm not taking Reek either. I'm just going to push Jaden up because that's who I think is the next best quarterback available. So that's what we're going to do. Lamar Jackson off the board. Like I said, like I will continue to say, I think Jaden Daniels is a little bit better than Lamar, and I think he's going to be able to throw the ball a lot more than Lamar does. I just don't really have the faith and confidence that Lamar Jackson has good receivers and good weapons. And the fact that he threw for as much as he did last year was shocking. to put an understatement on everything. I mean, it was shocking. I mean, I don't see that happening again. I will say this too. Another contest that you guys should look into if you haven't already. I'm not a big main event kind of guy, so I'm the wrong person to probably be doing this, but sorry for this. Is the best ball main event here from Drafters. The overlay in this contest is going to be crazy. You know, they still need 60,000 entries, and there's less than 2 weeks. So the overlay for this contest is going to be absolutely insane. If you haven't signed up for Drafters, I do have a code for Drafters as well. If you don't have an account, I can give you a code to use. Obviously, I've kind of had some people use it before, but not too many. But yeah, I mean, I draft on Drafters sometimes, and from time to time, I do like Drafters. It's a good little place because you can get some edge there too. So. But yeah, if you haven't used Drafters yet, I can give you my code. Just follow the Twitter link in the description. DM me, and I can get you the link. So, George Kittle off the board. Nico Collins, A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and George Kittle. That's fun. Now that, my friends, is fun. I do think Javon Achane, Justin Jefferson, Jaden McDaniels is pretty fun too, but I wish he wouldn't have taken Terry from me, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, I get he's going to get pushed up, so I get it. And Devo's going to go down, which is fine. Jameson Williams. I think we're going to go J-Mo. I'm not going to go Breece Hall here. I like J-Mo quite a bit. Once again, Lions offense, probably a top 5 offense in the NFL. I don't really see that changing. So I don't really care that Ben Johnson's gone. I don't really care, that all these guys are gone. So like I said, I think that Dan Campbell's fine. I do believe that team is going to be just fine, offensively speaking. It's not like their predecessors weren't there previously, so it's not like they don't know what they've done previous. Obviously, they're going to get a little bit more creative, I think, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm drafting the Lions pretty heavily, so I don't think anything changes there. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go drop a like and subscribe to the channel. that would be greatly, 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 greatly appreciated. We're on the path to 500 subs, or trying to get there to 500 subs. So would be greatly appreciated if you guys drop a sub, drop a like. I'd love to keep drafting Rashee Rice at this price, but man, it's so hard to. It's just really hard for me to take Rashee Rice over Kamara and Ridley right now because I like them both so much over the season, and Rashee Rice could miss 8 games. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. I really like Rashee Rice too. So it's difficult for me to not take Rashee, but I'm going to go Ridley here again. $14 picks away here. MCLAURIN at pick 54. The Igbukah hype, I understand it, but man, it's getting out of hand. It is just getting out of hand. I don't know where in what world we drafted MCLAURIN over Travis Hunter, but you know, that's not my world. That's not where I live. The world I live in, Travis Hunter went the number 2 overall, and they're using him at 80% of the snaps for a receiver. So they drafted him to be a receiver. That's just my world, but I don't know what world you live in, but man, Igbukah hype is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. I'm just curious at what cost do I have these guys at? Because I know I don't have a lot of either one, but I know I would definitely prefer Travis Hunter in a vacuum. 7.3%. And where's the Tampa Bay Bucks? There it is. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot of either, but I would definitely prefer Travis to a MCLAURIN. That's kind of where I'm at. Oh man, Rashee Rice at pick 60. This is an interesting team because you're building the Rams and you're building the Chiefs pretty heavily there. 2 what should be pretty good offenses. I'm going to move my camera back here. Good news for me is that I don't think I really have to stack here. Bad news is the 2 guys I was going to take instead of the stack just went. Well, there's one more guy, but I'm not going to say who. I do think Matthew Golden is a really good click. He's the clear-cut receiver 1 for this team, and I don't know why he's not getting the same hype Igbukah is, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But that's kind of where I sit with that. So, we'll see. But where did Tony Pollard go off the board? How long ago did Tony Pollard go off? Oh my gosh, pick 58? Jeez. Okay. I mean, people are starting to push Tony Pollard up boards, I guess. I mean, makes sense, but man, rough. I like what Bucks is doing here. TV Bucks, I like what he's doing. Not bad. A bad little receiver room. But, let's see. DeAndre Swift, Caleb Johnson, David Montgomery. I don't like any of these guys. I guess we're going to go Swift. I don't think Swift is a horrible pick, but I'm not a huge fan of Swift, and that's good value at least. Jaden Reed off the board. He gets Montgomery at a pretty good value. I don't normally stream at this time. I usually have work, but I had some comp time today that I had to use, so I got to get off early today. So if you guys are wondering why I'm live in the middle of the day, that would be why. Mahomes off the board. Baker. Mahomes and Baker. Interesting. Okay. I mean, dude, if Josh Downs falls to us here, that's something I really don't want to pass. Same with Hawkinson, honestly. Hawkinson falls to us here. I don't really want to pass that either. Pittman over Downs that's certainly a conversation to have, but I'm still taking Downs. I do get that Daniel Jones might throw to Pittman more, but I do think Downs can do more with the football. So we just got to make Hawkinson last past this guy, and then we're good. Which is unlikely, but you never know. And he does pass. Okay. Well, we do get Hawkinson here, more than likely. Pretty good value there, I would say. Unless this guy takes it. I love when people do double elite tight ends and just ruin their teams. Makes me smile from ear to ear. God. Okay, let's see. I guess we're gonna go Warren. That just made me mad a little bit, but it's okay. Oh, you gotta love it when people do that, man. Double elite tight ends, and yeah. Okay. Well, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. I'm taking Meka Buka as your receiver 3, but hey, I know. Sucks to suck, I guess. Sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. I mean, if Tyreek Hill is what Tyreek Hill used to be, this team's really, really, really good. I just don't think Tyreek Hill is what Tyreek Hill used to be. So, you know. In my eyes, Tyreek Hill is a lot closer to Calvin Ridley than Tyreek Hill is closer to T. Higgins. So, as far as a production standpoint goes, Bo Nix off the board. Kyler and Bo. Starting to smack some quarterbacks around. We're going to go Mixon here. I want another RB that I can trust. Obviously, Mixon's a long shot for week 1, but I'm still cool with taking Joe Mixon at pick 101, especially. This to me is just ridiculous. Like if he somehow manages to play like week 3, let's just say, this pick looks ignorant by the end of the year. Like with how cheap he is. Like it looks so ignorant. Like I just can't not do it. There obviously is a chance he misses the first 4 weeks, but like take it for what it is. I mean, if your team can hang on for 4 weeks and then you come back to Joe Mixon RB1 season, then like what did you truly miss out on? You know, like realistically speaking, you have it undoubtedly RB1 here in Joe Mixon, like in my eyes. Nick Chubb's not taking that job. Woody Marks is most certainly not taking that job. So where does that leave us? Leaves us with with Joe Mixon. I do got to blow my nose real quick. I had to blow my nose. Oh my gosh. All right, so we got Loveland, Tucker Craft. I'm not willing to go the 2 rookies. Tucker Craft just went off the board. Dang it. Okay. I'm not really wanting to do that. Luther Burden is not really a guy I want to a venture I want to go down. I think we're going to go down the Scatabo route. Actually, we're going to go down the Etienne hole. That's fine. 116, that's a good value for Travis, even though he might get traded. In the event that he doesn't get traded, we have him. So, in the event that he stays on the Jaguars, we have the little bit of correlation here with the Colts and Jags. So, oh, man. I'll be anxious to see how he builds this out because his receiver room kind of stinks. He's kind of hoping Olave is like a receiver one and that Shuck or Rattler are going to be at least good enough to produce that. Sutton, he's hoping takes a step forward. I don't get why people think Cortland Sutton can't take another leap forward in what he produced last year, because there's no reason he shouldn't or couldn't. Because, I mean, I know he's older, but, like, this is the best quarterback play he's had almost ever. So, like, and Bo Nix is only getting better. So, makes sense to me. But maybe I'm the one that's an idiot. I don't know. We're going to try to get Jordan Love, I think, here. I don't think it's a bad choice for Jordan Love. I also don't think it's a bad choice for Keenan, even though Keenan's a really boring choice. Keenan goes off the board anyway, so we don't even get the chance to get him. Go ahead and take Jordan Love. Herbert off the board. Naked Herbert at that. I don't really. Okay. JJ McCarthy and Justin Herbert naked. Oh, well, no, I guess JJ McCarthy and Hawkinson. But Herbert is just going to get back sacked later, most likely with like Quentin Johnston. Eckler. See, I think Eckler should be. That's about where he should be going. That makes more sense to me. I do think that this running back room is great. Quarterback room is pretty dang good. Receiver room and tight end could use some work now. I'm okay with either one of these guys at tight end, to be honest. They're one's just as good as the other. Goddard goes off the board with 2 bye week 9s ahead of ADP, and Kincaid goes off the board. Okay, well, we're just going to keep adding to the Jake Ferg bags. So just going to keep getting Jake Ferg bags added up. Javonte Williams off the board. Braylon Allen. What is his name? Dan Snyder's hemorrhoids. Nice. Nice, man. Dan Snyder's hemorrhoids. What? Oh, man. People are funny. People are funny. Ooh, okay. Anyway. Let's see. I think our tight end room's going to take one more tight end, but that's fine. Let's see. We got Love and we got Daniels. Probably take Zach Ertz a little later. Maybe some Noah Brown or something. I don't know. Something to Jalen Lane, maybe. I don't know. Something to get a little unique with the Jaden Daniels stack here. Maybe. Let's see. Bryce Young off the board. I mean, realistically, Dylan Sampson's still there. I like the running backs here a lot more. I'm not going Judkins. I'm just going to go Sampson. I think Sampson's a little bit better of a pick than Judkins personally, but probably just took his pick, but hey, is what it is. He takes 3 quarterbacks because he desperately needs 3 quarterbacks on this team. Judkins goes off the board at 151. I mean, he's really drafting thin here with Saquon Bucky. He's just saying, Saquon and Bucky, you two are the guys, and you guys are going to have to play the whole entire season. So, I mean, that's cool with me because I'm pretty much saying that about my receiver room right now. So, let's see. Let's get to this look here. That Devon Achane fall was still crazy to me. Pick 20 is nuts. That's just too cheap for Devon Achane. Well, actually, we could go up here with this view. Kincaid and Goddard go back to back. And then I take Jake Ferguson, the big Fergmeister. Sam Darnold at pick 159. Jeez, that's early. We're trying to get these last little bit of quarterbacks here. Stafford still hasn't gone. You're taking Darnold over Stafford? Interesting. Okay. That's personally not my body, but what do I know? Kyle Williams gets drafted here. How many no badges are there in this? Just 2? Some black badges. Xavier Legette off the board. Let's go ahead and get ready here. Let's queue up Ertz. We definitely want Zach Ertz as the last pick here for tight end. And I think receiver-wise, I mean, we're going to need one. I mean, kind of need him now. I mean, we could take one more running back and be done there. Shipley goes off the board. That kind of sucks because I was kind of hoping to get Shipley, but oh well. Is what it is. I still think Najee is really fun. I don't think Ollie Gordon's a bad pick. Truly, I don't, but people have been pushing him up way too much in my eyes. And I just don't think he should be going ahead of Najee. I don't think a lot of these running backs should be going ahead of Najee personally, but what do I know? Najee. Keaton Mitchell over Najee Harris is just ridiculous. Like that is ridiculous to me. But, you know, now we're done at running back. Now we're done at running back and tight end. Realistically, we just slap out receivers and call it a day. is kind of what we're looking to do here with these last picks. So let's go ahead and go back to this. Oh, Stafford goes off the board. I'm kind of confused as to why Matt Stafford was literally the last quarterback basically off the board. Mason Taylor. Isaiah Likely. Torrey Horton. See, I don't get the Horton and Elick hype. I mean, I know that they've been good in camp, but like, what is the path to Torrey Horton being like anything really? You know, is Cooper Kupp getting injured again, and then Horton slides into the number 2? Is that kind of the path? I guess. Is Elick a manner? Like, is he better than Lockett? Is that what it is? Like, that's what he's gonna have to beat out is Lockett. So, an event like that, I don't know if you beat him out. I'm not sure. Michael Wilson is the clear-cut number 2 in my eyes, and that's a really good pick. These other two, I wouldn't have taken over Michael Wilson. Alec Pierce. I don't like Alec Pierce as much as I did, but he's still my most owned guy. Troy Franklin off the board. God, the big receivers are just sliding off the board here. Go ahead and take Slayton. That's one of my favorite picks for spike week potential. I do think he's a really good spike weeker, so makes a lot of sense for me to pick him. We'll probably do one more draft after this and call it a stream. I do have enough to do all 4, but I'm just going to do the other one later. TV Bucks has 8 receivers. Dang. Interesting. Okay. Isaac Tesla. And Jalen Coker. Talking about flag plants. I don't like Tesla as much, but Coker I really like. So makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got your guys. It's kind of the ordeal here, and now I got to kind of figure out who I can get. That makes some sense to me here. I think Yoshi Vosh makes some sense. He's on the field. If either one of the starters go down, then he's the guy that kind of steps up in that regard. I do think he makes a lot of sense. I think you could go Jalen Lane, Noah Brown. I think those both make a lot of sense for that last pick. Let's see. I mean, the thing about Jalen Lane is I just don't know if he's even going to get on the field. Like that is a huge swing to me that I don't even know that's going to pay out if it does. Deontay Johnson's not sniffing. 2-2. Kevontae Turpin gave you some weeks last year. Vele, I'm not real interested in. You could take Dontavian Wicks, I guess, but that's just too. Let's see. I think we're just going to go Jalen Lane and just bite the upside here. See what happens. All right, so we got a 2-6-7-3. Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Devon Achane, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon, Travis Etienne, Dylan Sampson, Najee Harris, Justin Jefferson, Jameson Williams, Calvin Ridley, Matthew Golden, Darius Slayton, Andre Yosivash, Jalen Lane, and then Tyler Warren, Jake Ferguson, Zach Ertz rounding it out at the last pick there. All right. We're going to do one more Rottweiler, and then we're probably going to get off for the night. Oh, we got a 101. Very nice. Yes. I am ecstatic for the 101. We know who we're taking with the 101. The 101 streamer luck, as some might say. Jamar Chase has been the 101 all year. Makes sense as to why. Nothing's really changed. So trying to get cute with the 101 just is not something I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my Jamar Chase, and I'm just going to keep moving. Two and one. Thank you. Because if the Bengals are healthy again, guess what? Jamar's probably going to be the top receiver for the year again. We got 1, 2, 3. We got a third of the lobby with no badge. And 1, 2, 3. Another 3 with black badges. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the lobby with not very high badge levels or no badge levels at all. So recognize DeLudo's name. I don't really recognize anybody else's name, so it's the only name I really recognize. Saints released Cam Akers. Do I have any Cam Akers? I'm just curious. Let's see. I do not have any Cam Akers. Okay, good. I just wanted to see if I had any. I didn't think I did, but like I said, just one of those just to be certain kind of things. Genty at the 109. That's a little early for me. Drake London. Drake London over Brian Thomas is definitely a debate. I think you could debate the two. I do. I truly do. I think they're about equal. I think they both could make jumps into the top 5. They are both in a situation where they both definitely can. It's just who is in the better spot to. And I think I would rather have Lawrence than Penix. So I think Brian Thomas is in a little bit better of a spot to do that. I do think London's in a better spot to get more looks to do it, though. So take that for what it is. We'll put the board on here. Actually, Bucky Irving, Justin Jefferson, Bucky Irving. Interesting. Devon Achane's still on the board, by the way. Just want that to be known. You see McCaffrey at the 105 go. He takes Devon Achane here, and it's not really unique, but I mean, take that for what it is. Josh Jacobs off the board. Jonathan Taylor's still there. It's really nice. Really nice of them to leave Jonathan Taylor there. If he stays there, that is. Probably won't, but you never know. And he goes off the board. Okay. You know what? We're going to go McBride. And we're going to go Josh. Because that's what I want. I'm curious kind of to see how much I have this combo. Because here we go. So we got it a little bit. I mean, we have one team with Lamar, Jace. Zero teams with Jaden Chase. I think Jaden Chase could have been fun. But this is not the contest to get like super unique in. In my eyes, this is the contest to draft who you think the best is, and I think Allen is the best. I think Trey McBride has a real shot to be the tight end one. If we just see him get like 6-7 touchdowns this year, I mean, good grief. That guy is definitely the tight end one over Powers. I think not taking a running back is an extreme risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take, especially out of the one-on-one when you have, three guys here that could potentially be the top spots in their respective positions. Josh is normally top 5. McBride is definitely a top 3. And then Jamar is definitely top 3. Like, you have guys that could be top 3 at their position every single week. Historically wrong. I was not historically wrong about Rashee Rice. I most certainly was not historically wrong about that one. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the best player in fantasy this year, is my prediction. Sleepers wise, I mean, Pickens is probably going to be pretty good. I like Jameson Williams a lot. Rookie wise, I think Tet McMillan's probably going to be the best rookie. Probably going to be the best rookie year one anyways. Let's see. I mean, how deep do you want me to get? I mean, you want me to get down in here? I mean, Michael Wilson's probably going to outperform his ADP wherever he goes. If you really want me to get super deep into this. Let's see. Who else outperforms their ADP? I think Drake May outperforms his ADP as well. I think Drake May is probably one of the best QBs you could get on the board at that price. Hampton will probably be a top 5 or 6 running back by the end of the year, I'd say. I mean, he's already getting drafted as such, so it's kind of hard for me to give that out as a hot take. But let's see, Kamara. I don't want Sutton because I always get Sutton with these kinds of teams. Let's get Devontae Smith. I need more Eagles. I think the Eagles pass catchers are going to be a lot better this year too, personally. I also think Saquon is going to be injured this season, but I know that's not really a hot take, but I think Will Shipley is going to actually play a pivotal role for the Eagles this year. We'll see, though. I mean, I truly believe Will Shipley actually will play a role in that offense this year. At least a small one. May not be obviously anything substantial for fantasy, but, you know, if Saquon does go down, I do think Shipley is definitely a top 10 running back this year. If that happens. So, you know, take that for what it is. I mean, we can go to my exposures and see where I'm at. I think Jaden Daniels is the QB2 over Lamar this year. I don't know if that's really hot takey enough for you, but I think Brock Purdy cements himself into the top 6 or 7 this year too. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Let me put this down here. Is there any other things that are hot takey? I think Kamara is really good this year, obviously. Kamara is my most drafted. Eckler, I think Eckler's got good potential. Obviously, I like Gibbs a lot, so I'm not really going to throw that out there. I think Gibbs is the 102 behind Chase this year. Hampton, obviously, I like a good amount. I mean, you could see kind of where I've been taking him. So at some point here, we were taking him in the 40s. Now we're taking him near the 20s. So taking him quite a bit up here. You know, take that for what it is. So we've been getting him later. You know, we can get him at the end of drafts. Alec Pierce. So I like Alec Pierce a lot too. Downs is a fun one. This is really cool. I didn't even know you could see this. You can see the percent of the time you've stacked them. That's kind of cool. Keenan Allen, we got a lot of our Keenan Allen late. So Keenan Allen was a guy I was taking early. I like JMO a lot. JMO's kind of been a flatliner. Did I say Jamison Williams at pick 55? Oh my gosh. Beautiful. If you got him at pick 55, that's insane. Jaden Reed, Rome. Rashee Rice has kind of been all over the place. I mean, sucks that we've gotten him down here and up here. We've gotten pretty well everywhere at this point. I mean, we were taking him as early as, 18th. Pick 14, Nico. Man, I wish I could get pick 14 Nico some more. Be nice. Let's say pick 19. Good grief. I wish. I like Jerry Jeudy a lot this year, too. Now that Joe Flacco's been named the guy, I kind of like Jerry Jeudy quite a bit. If that matters to you. Okay. Is Pollard still on the board? No. So Pollard's not on the board. Oh, that really sucks. We're just going to have to double tap here. We're going to go Jeudy and Addison. Yeah, let's just get our let's get our P's and Q's in order at receiver, and then we'll start at the smacking running backs here. Because we have an elite quarterback, we have an elite tight end, we have 4 very good receivers. Now we just need to get a couple more here, and then we could just start smacking running backs and hopes and prayers that we can find a running back that hits. Because that's what this team's going to have to entail. Because the running back rooms are just going a little earlier in this room, which is fine. But not a huge fan of them when they start going this early. So Bijan Taylor and Amarion Hampton to start with Ridley, Sutton, Diggs to follow it. I like that start because I like Ridley and I like Sutton a lot. I also like Diggs. So I like that start a lot. You're swinging for the fences really at receiver, but, it is what it is. I don't know how you match me at quarterback and tight end every week. That's where you got to really look at this team and, value it is you don't know where they're going to match you at quarterback and tight end every week and at receiver 1 with Chase. There's not a lot of teams that can match Chase. So Makes sense. But running back room wise, I think Kamara can match any of these guys any given week. It's just, can he stay healthy, and is he on a good enough offense to match them every single week is the question. So in my biggest league, it's positionless, just needs 6 players. I got Jaden Daniels, AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Rice, Pacheco, and Montgomery. That's interesting. 6 position player. Oh, just 6 position players. Thought you said positionless. Oh no, you did say it's positionless. Interesting. Okay. So you have Jaden Daniels, and then are they just flexes, I guess? AJ Puka, Bijan. That's crazy. AJ Puka, Bijan's crazy. I don't know how many people are in that league, but that's insane. I'm just gonna be real. Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, Rashee Rice. I mean, that's really good. Rashee Rice is an interesting pick because I love Rashee Rice, and if we knew the news of how long he was going to be suspended, I would be drafting Rashee Rice at whatever price he is. It's just, I don't know where we are getting him because I don't know where his suspension is going to fall. So it's hard to draft him right now because nobody knows where his suspension is going to fall or land. Nobody. I don't care what anyone says. No one knows where that nobody knows. So it's tough. It's tough. I think we can take. I don't want to take Godwin. Let's go Mooney. And then we will take Mixon. I'm not a fan of it, but we'll take it. I know he's going to miss. That's fine. And that's okay if he misses. We're going to have to just hope that running backs early on, a Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson, Javonte Williams can kind of take over the wheel at the beginning here. Have a good first few weeks. And keep it pushing. It's kind of the hope with this team. Because receiver-wise, we're great. We have Darnell Mooney in our 5th receiver spot. That's pretty good in best ball. It's pretty good. It's just tough. It's tough. Yeah, AJ fell to us somewhere on the 3rd round reversal. We figured our wide receivers are very good the way it is. So say the suspension doesn't end up that bad. Yeah, he'll be a good player at the end of the year. That's the thing is it's like, you're going to get him for the first. Okay, here's what we know. We know he's going to be in for the first 4 weeks. We know that. However, we don't know after that. So you have to prepare for worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's out till week 15. I think that is the absolute worst case scenario. He's out till week 15. And that's what, 11 weeks? 10 weeks? That's a 10-week suspension is what that is, including the bye. So I don't know if he's going to be out that long, but I don't know that for sure. I think personally, I've said it all along, I think it's going to be 6 or 7 games appealed down to 5 or 6 is what I think. But that's my opinion. So I think it'll be hovering around the 6 range. Is what my opinion is. And if that's the case, you're getting him at a pretty good discount right now in the 5th or 6th round. In my opinion. But obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything about that legal stuff. So, I don't know anything about it. So, makes it a little bit harder to figure out, obviously. But that's just my 2 cents. We don't really need an elite quarterback on this. Another one, like another good quarterback. We already have our guy. So, if Josh Allen goes down, this team stinks. Anyways, so we're kind of hoping to secure one of these 3 tight ends. 2 of the guys don't have tight ends yet, so we probably lose 2 of them. So Jared Goff off the board. KJ, how are things going today? What's up, bro? Need some advice? Better redraft, full PPR QB, Mahomes, Bo, or Dak? If you're referring to the whole season, Mahomes is probably the best option, then Bo, then Dak in that order. If you're referring to, week 1, I haven't even looked at the week 1 matchups yet. So it's kind of hard for me to give you some advice here on the week 1 matchups. I haven't looked at week 1 yet. So, it's kind of tough for me to say. So we're going to go Kraft, and we're going to continue to add to the receiver room here. I know Keenan Allen is a really boring pick, but if Jordan Addison and Darnell Mooney both miss time, which we know Addison is already, if Mooney misses time, Keenan Allen at least could be that fill-in for the first few weeks that we need him to be, and probably be a pretty good producer until the rookies can kind of get their feet wet and figure it out with Herbert. Full season, yeah, it'd probably be Mahomes, then Bo Nix, then Dak for me, in that order. But I like Bo Nix quite a bit this year too, but I just think they're going to run the ball a lot. So what's your thoughts on Reek? I'm totally out. Totally out. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't care if I get him in the 4th. I don't care if I get him in the 5th. I want nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. I think I was saying this earlier. I think Tyreek Hill ADP on this site is way too high. 25. Like, he's going back to back with T. Higgins. I think Tyreek Hill is a lot closer to Calvin Ridley than he is T. Higgins. That's where I rank Tyreek Hill this year. I'm out. I'm done. I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want anything to do with him. He's already talking about his wrist again, and the numbers versus man and zone last year were extremely down. Sitting out of practices, the vibes in Miami are not good. I am struggling to draft Dolphin players in general. I was on them early, and now I really want nothing to do with him. And, you could see it from here. I really want nothing to do with this team at all. Just the only guy I really wanted was Jalen Wright because I could get him cheap. And I thought Achane might have a chance of getting hurt. So I was taking Jalen Wright, a little bit of Ollie mixed in, but I want nothing to do with this team. I don't like this team at all. I just think that the Dolphins are showing by what they're doing. They're trying to punt this year quite a bit. They dropped another corner today. I don't think they're a very good team. I'm just going to leave it at that. Wright is cooked. I don't know. I don't think Wright's cooked. I think there's definitely spike week potential with Wright. I still think he's the 2 behind Ollie Gore, or I still think he's the 2 behind Achane. I don't think he's lost that job yet. I mean, it's his job to lose, but I don't think he's lost it yet. Personally, obviously Ollie Gordon has looked good in preseason for the most part, but Jacoby Myers has requested a trade. Oh, really? That's news. Wow. Okay. Glad I don't have a lot of him because he's probably going to go be a receiver 3 on somebody's team. We're going to get Trey Benson here. That's a pretty easy click. And I'm going to go ahead and take Bryce Young in some backstacky kind of way. We're going to figure it out. So that's actually pretty good news for Jack Besh. I know Jack Besh had a really bad camp, and that's even better news for Brock Bowers, which I don't have a lot of. I don't have a lot of the Vegas Raiders, obviously. But Myers goes. What team needs a receiver? Myers to San Fran would be an insane landing spot. Oh, no. Well, the San Fran just gave up their sixth round pick for Brian Robinson. What's the likelihood they make another trade for Myers? Probably slim, right? They're not going to make a trade for Myers, okay? I'm going to rule them. I'm going to rule San Fran out. I don't think they make a trade there. Hey, hear me out. Hear me out. What's Myers' contract situation look like? Do the Bills have a chance at him? Because if they do, that's kind of that's kind of scary. Let's look at this real quick. Jacoby Myers contract. Let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. I will say Dante Thornton to the moon, by the way. If you haven't been drafting Dante Thornton like yours truly, like an idiot, well, we're all idiots. Anyways, moving on. That's not a big contract at all. Is that his deal? No, it's not his deal. Where's his deal with the Raiders? Where's his deal? It's not. There's no way he's on a restricted contract still. In his 6th year. Where's his contract? Here we go. Okay. Ooh, I see why they're trying to get off of it. Ooh, okay. Neighbors and Myers? No, the Giants won't trade for him. The Giants have no chance of competing. Why would they trade for a 29-year-old or 27-year-old? That doesn't even make sense. No. The Giants, I would still be out. The Bills. Do the Bills have enough room for this? I don't think the Bills have enough room for that. What other teams are available out there that makes sense? Chargers already picked up Keenan. That won't happen. Carolina? No. Jacksonville? No. Denver? No. Raiders already? No. Houston? No. Has there been any receiver injuries? The Vikings could be interested because I know that they were interested in Thielen, but obviously Myers is better than Thielen, so he's probably going to cost them a little bit more. So probably not. I'm just trying to think of teams. Seattle? No. I mean, what is Myers' point here? He's under contract for 3 years, though. We're going to double tap running back here and go Will Shipley and Rachaad White. Probably, or actually, yeah, we'll go Rachaad White. That's actually, no, we're going to go Jerome Ford. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, of course, Tyreek wants out of Miami, but like, does he really want to go to Vegas? But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Curry, right? Why would he be trying to go for a contract when he's under contract for 3 more years? Well, I guess no. He's under no. This would be a contract thing. He is 29. Yeah, you're right. It might be a contract thing. Who's going to take on $10.5 million this year, though? There's nobody that takes that on. Nobody takes this on. There's nobody on this planet takes that on, right? I'm just trying to think of teams that could, that in theory could. The Niners, there's no way the Niners can take that on. Who can take on $10 million? I don't think there's a team out there that can, unless the Raiders are willing to absorb that for some picks. That could be the case, maybe. So realistically, I mean, I guess that could happen. Let's see. So if they cut him, they're saving $4 million. They're getting $4 million of dead money, and then they have $10 million on their cap saved. Titans. Do the Titans really want to do that? Like, do the Titans really think they're that close? I don't think so. Sorry, Brad. I'm sorry. It was breaking news, so I wanted to like kind of talk about it because it's interesting. 10-man had the 105. Kyler, CMC. Ouch. How did you get CMC and Jettis? Anyway, Ladd, Hawkinson, Marv, and Devontae. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good. Should I drop Jaden Higgins for Thornton? Higgins for Thornton. Oh, that's a tough one with the news that just came out. Oh, goodness. I mean, you could. I don't know where I would put Thornton at this point. Chat, who would you rather have, Thornton or Higgins? Because honestly, I think I'd rather have Higgins still. I truly think I'd still rather have Higgins, but I'm really high on Higgins. So Coker, let's go ahead and get Coker, the Cokester. We'll go ahead and get Giddens as well. We got a lot of upside at running back here. A lot of upside. Texans can ship Tank Dell and some picks. The Texans are not shipping Tank Dell. There's no. That's nobody wants anything to do with Tank Dell at this point. Texans are stuck with Tank Dell, honestly. Tyreek wants out of Miami. I mean, I get that, but we might have to go live for another one here. We might have to draft another one. What's Twitter saying about this? Oh man, I wonder what Twitter's saying, because now I'm curious. Oh goodness. Oh man, that's just, I mean, what is there any team that makes sense? Truly, like there just isn't any team that makes sense. The Jets, the Steelers. Could the Steelers do it? Do the Steelers got enough money? The Steelers could, maybe. Could I mean the Steelers kind of make some sense, right? I know they got DK and I know they traded away Pickens, but the Steelers could make some sense. Who else? I mean, I'm just trying to think. The Packers don't really make a lot of sense. The Browns don't make a lot of sense. The Rams don't make a lot of sense. The Seahawks don't make a lot of sense. Eagles, obviously. The Texans, obviously. Saints, no. Bengals, no. The Vikings make some sense to me. Would it be good for Jacoby? Freak, no. No, it would not be good for Jacoby to end up in Minnesota, but it makes sense. Makes sense. I don't think he's going to go back to the Patriots. Yeah, I mean, the Jets, maybe, but that just seems like a long shot to me, too. The Bills would, in an ideal world, if he lands with the Buffalo Bills, oh my goodness. The internet will break if he ends up with the Bills. Oh, man. I will be happy if he ends up with the Bills. Don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. My goodness. He could. I don't know if the Bills have enough contract room, though. Especially for a true outside receiver. If they do end up with Jacoby Myers, man, like, there goes Keon Coleman, man. Like, we're giving up on the Keon Coleman project is kind of how I feel about that. Jack Besh in the last round. We're going to start seeing people take Jack Besh again. My Jack Besh bags are saved from drafting him in the 140s. Oh, man. Yeah, Josh Palmer did get paid. Yeah, you're right. That just got cooked fast. I mean, dude, like, there's just no other team out there for him. Like, there just isn't. I'm taking Ty Johnson here, by the way, as I'm a weirdo and I want to get weird. So I'm a weirdo and I want to get weird kind of pick. That's all that was, to pair up with Josh. So yeah, we'll do our last one on stream, because why not? Why not? If y'all want to get in a draft with the Rottweiler, get in. We need 9 people. So we'll see where Dante Thornton goes, because I'm curious now. Now I'm curious, because this has to move Bowers at the 1-2 turn. It has to, right? I mean, Bowers' value just, oh my God. Bowers is going to be insane. Bauer's value is going to be nuts, and I already don't have a lot of him, which sucks. He might be a first-round pick. He genuinely might be a first-round pick. Oh, man. If something happens to Myers, anyways. Oh, man. I'm literally just reading the news, man. Oh, come on. Bowers is going to go nuclear. I know. Here's a fun little graph here. Check out some of the biggest risers since July 30th. Keenan Allen. Oh, man. Ja'Cory Krosky, baby. Up 100 picks. I've never seen anything like Ja'Cory Krosky. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. That's just nuts. That is nuts. According to like that is just nuts. I get it, but like, man, dude. I was in on Eckler. I'm still in on Eckler. It's a little late though to be requesting a trade, is it not? Like, no team is going to trade for him. At least I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to hate to see what Dante Thornton's price is in this lobby. I have a feeling. Oh, man. Dante Thornton's going to be expensive as shit. Oh, God. San Fran might trade Jawan Jennings for him. Are the Vegas Raiders really interested in Jawan Jennings, though? Like, if you're getting a call from San Fran saying, hey, we'll give you Jawan Jennings for Jacoby Myers, are you saying yes to that when they both want new contracts? I don't think you're saying yes. Because I would rather pay Jacoby Myers than Jawan Jennings personally. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to go that route for the Raiders, but that's just my 2 cents. I mean, oh goodness, I don't know. It's definitely going to be interesting though. Oh, I got to click some buttons on these slows. Let's see. Do we have any Dante? Oh, we're just gonna click Dante Thornton in these rooms because, well, I need more of him anyway. So we're just gonna click him and hope that he pays off. So, yeah, hope he pays off because that's where we're at this point. Let's see. He's about to get really expensive, probably. So this team needs a running back. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Absolutely no, it doesn't. Where is he? Oh my gosh, he went pick 146 in the slow. Jesus Lord. He went ahead of Hollywood Brown. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's about to get nasty out here. It's about to get nasty. He's going at 140. Oh, it's going to get real nasty. We definitely need a tight end. Jonnu, go ahead. Oh, I almost clicked Elick. That would have been really bad. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Dante Thornton just ruined us, man. Just ruined us. I'm going to take Leggett because he's like a ton past ADP. So another Leggett pick, I guess, because he's a ton past ADP. So, I mean, one more for the Rottweiler. We'll just go back to it. Dude, 140 Dante Thornton. That's rich. That is rich. Oh, my phone just got the notification too. Oh, Jesus. I mean, dude. There's just no other team that really makes sense for him to go to. Genuinely. Oh, okay. 112. Ouch. All right, well, I mean, I guess that's what we get for getting a Jamar Chase team. So, guess it makes sense. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm just scrolling through Twitter to see what Twitter feed is saying. There's not really a whole lot being said, obviously. There's not really a whole lot to be said other than he requested a trade. So, you know, we'll see where he goes in this draft room, though. Maybe we can get Jacoby Myers cheaper now. Maybe. It's a big maybe, though. So I already don't have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 non-badges in here, and only two other red badges. This should be a fun room. This is going to be a fun room. I have that feeling. Live up to the expectation. Take Christian McCaffrey at 3. CD Lamb off the board at pick 5. If you guys are new here, I hate to keep doing this, but I'm going to keep doing it. Drop a like and sub to the channel would be greatly appreciated. We're kind of on the path here to 400 or 500 subs, so trying to get there. Hopefully by middle of the year. So by Christmas would be nice, but beggars can't be choosers sometimes. But drop a like if you're enjoying the content and subscribe to the channel. We do try to stream quite often. So, and as I said, I've been live for 2 hours. So it's been a long stream of draft and football. So, and we got some breaking news during. So even better. So Neighbors off the clock or off the board. Off the clock. Oh, off the board. Goodness. I still can't believe Jacoby Myers requested a trade. I mean, I get it, but he thinks it's just going to be the Terry McLaurin effect. Brian Thomas off the board. We're hoping we can get Puka. Obviously didn't. We're definitely going to go Amon-Ra. And I'm pushing Bowers up. I don't care. I'm pushing Bowers up after the news. I mean, I'm just going to be the first one to overreact. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm going to be the one to overreact. I don't care. Drake London's still sitting there on the board. And Achan. I really don't think Bowers in this format is that bad of a pick, though, at that particular spot, honestly. I do think Bowers is a better pick in these smaller contests because he gives you such an advantage. You don't have to be so perfect at tight end. Because now I can literally turn off tight end and just wait until the final round. So we'll go ahead and do this. Let me put my name up here. There we go. All right. A.J. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. That's amazing. That's a great start for him. Kind of jealous of that. See what I mean? Like, taking McCaffrey up here and then Achane, it didn't really get him a unique start here. Josh Jacobs off the board. JT's still on the board. You're going to let the Jamar Chase team get Jonathan Taylor? How dare you? How dare you? Dirty dogs. Okay, good. They didn't let it happen. Woohoo. T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill. Yikes. No receivers through the first 3 rounds. I've done that a few times, and I never like what my team ends up being. Unless it's 3 running backs. Unless I control the flex, then I like it maybe, but 2 running backs and a tight end, I don't love it. Jefferson, Bucky, and Marion Hampton, that's really nice. You really was hoping to get Puka because Puka can play that hero receiver. I don't know that Amon-Ra is really a hero receiver kind of build, but we're going to try it anyway. I was really hoping Kyron would fall. Kyron used to fall to that turn, but he just doesn't fall to that turn much anymore. Oh, goodness. I'll probably just double-click these guys. Devontae Adams. James Cook go off the board? Oh, okay. Oh, well, there goes James Cook. Never mind. All right. Well, we can still go hero here. I'm totally fine with it. We can go Jaden. Jaden Terry. I'm fine with that. Like I said, we're not going to have a great running back room, which is fine because we're going to be great everywhere else, which is cool with me. I don't typically do this, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to do either. Well, all right. So the running backs all got pushed up extremely early, which, I mean, I guess that kind of sucks for us. Sometimes one of those guys falls. It is what it is. Kittle's all the way at pick 44. That's insane. Yeah, see, this is like a really, really good team. That's a really scary team. So I like drafting in the 4, 5, and 6 slots this year. You get an elite guy up top 6, which is pretty clear in everybody's books. Then you get 2 probable good running backs, or you get, 2 really, really good players there. And then you get a guy like Kittle to fall. I mean, that's just crazy. This guy has no receivers still. He's doing the complete opposite I am. And this guy's got 5 receivers. So a lot of different strategies being implemented here. Rashee Rice, pick 50. Interesting. So he's not going to have a receiver after week 4 for a while. That's interesting. I don't know if I like that or not. I definitely like what I did a little bit more, but the running backs kind of went pretty early for what they usually do. And we got 3 running backs here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I mean, we got a lot of 2 running back teams already. So I do really like the start, though. Getting Jaden Daniels and Terry on the same team with Amon-Ra, that's fun with Bowers. I do think that's extremely fun. These smaller contests, the Week 17 correlation, I don't really take them into effect as hard as I usually would in the bigger contests. But the bigger contests, you kind of got to weigh them in a little bit more. Igbuka off the board, way too early in my eyes, but 4 running backs. Okay, I guess this is going to be a Hubbard team. Never mind, it's not going to be a Hubbard team. Woo! Okay. We're going to hope that, we get the range of outcomes we need here with Debo. Actually, no. We're going to go Zay. Because Zay is a lot of fun here at pick 60. And then we're going to hope that we can get an RB 1 year out of James Conner. I don't love it, but it's really the only guy that I feel can maybe do it. Harvey, I don't think can, but actually we're going to go Harvey. We're going to go Harvey and hope that the rookie upside here, maybe Dobbins experiences the knee issues he continually has, and we get a good year out of that from Harvey is kind of the hope. I think Harvey, if something does happen to Dobbins, is going to get a lot of the work. And Denver's already got one of the best lines anyways. I would know. I wasn't a big fan of the RJ Harvey pick when we did it, so there is a world where Harvey is like the ultimate pick here, and he has the upside that we need him to have. So there is a world that exists. I do think Zay Flowers is an interesting pick here for us. I don't really have a lot of Zay, and that's kind of what led to this pick. But I also think getting somebody in Baltimore's offense is as good as it is. I think Zay may have potential to get some more touchdowns this year. I mean, he only had 4 last season. He had 5 the season before that. I mean, realistically speaking, we know what Zay is at this point. So I think 1,100 yard season and like 6 touchdowns, that's his best year. So, I mean, that's not asking a lot to get 1 or 2 more touchdowns. Obviously, Zay Flowers is not a red zone threat, so it's kind of tough for him anyway. But Pollard off the board, Pacheco off the board. We could have went Pollard and got RJ Harvey Pollard, but I'm okay with this so far. I think we could still get some guys here that make sense. Cooper Kupp at pick 71 and Pittman at 74. That's disgusting. Okay. Let's move this here. Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase team passed on Burrow. That's interesting. And the T. Higgins team did too. Well, I guess they're on the same team, but it's interesting you get him to fall and then you don't take him. Let's see. Addison off the board. Johnson off the board. Let's see. Mason. Jordan Mason going before Aaron Jones. That's just a take that I'm not willing to have. At all, actually. See, this is what I mean. Like, how do you draft a receiver now? You have to, but like that's gross. We're gonna take the Myers discount here because nothing's really changed. I don't really care if he's requesting. We're just gonna take the discount and go Myers, and then we're gonna take Aaron Jones. Like I said, I don't think anything's really changed yet. Anyways, Jacoby at pick 84. That's a really good discount for the news that just happened. All things considered. Because I don't really think there's a chance that Jacoby Myers sits out. I don't think that's the case. So We have Jaden Harvey, Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. I have an 8-man league with some friends, $100 buy-in. What strategy should I use for the 4th pick? With the 4th pick, you're probably going to get somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs or CeeDee Lamb. I would prefer those two in that order. Next round, I would probably get your elite tight end and Trey McBride if you can, especially in an 8-man league. You definitely want to separate yourself there and quarterback. So the 3rd round, you might want to look at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Ooh, voice crack. Anyway, 3rd round, you might want to look at Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, something like that. Make sure you get an elite quarterback and an elite tight end, and then fill out your running back and receiver positions with depth there after that is what I would do, especially in an 8-man league, because realistically speaking, you're going to be able to get receivers. There's a lot of good receivers. There's a lot of good running backs. I would make sure to get the elite stuff at tight end and the elite at quarterback, because you definitely want to separate yourself there, is my opinion. But that's just my input. Keenan Allen at pick 95 and Rashad Bateman at pick 98. What is this guy doing? I don't like his draft at all. Like, that is nasty. Is Bowers your number 1 tight end or Trey? They're pretty even. If you can get Bowers, I would get Bowers, but Trey McBride is probably going to be the one that's there if I had to take the guess. But if Bowers is there, I would take Bowers. So I would start maybe Gibbs, Bowers, and then like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, or even Jalen Hurts if all 3 of those are gone. And then I would go with your receiver running backs and start kind of building out your receivers that way. Purdy, Kyler, Dobbins at 99. Okay, we need Joe Mixon on this team. Everybody hates Joe Mixon but me. So I'm taking Joe Mixon in the hopes that we get something from him, is kind of where we're at. I want to make sure we have a good quarterback. I want to make sure we have it right. So we are going to get Drake May. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done at quarterback. Jaden Daniels and Drake May are our quarterbacks. We get Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, RJ Harvey. We manage a decent running back room. We see the news that Joe Mixon is ready to go week 1. It gets announced. Guess what? We just got an RB1 right there in the 10th round. So don't hate the player, hate the game. Especially in a contest like this, you know. And if we get the news Jacoby Myers signs with the Raiders, well, guess what? We just bought him at a big discount. So, and we got Bowers. So we got a team that we already thought was going to be a decent offense, an improved offense, especially with Geno. Sorry. And we already got it bought at a discount. So pretty nice there. I still think Bowers could pay off at this price, regardless if Myers is there or not. But I think getting Myers at that price is just way too cheap. Truly, I think a pick, 84. I mean, Downs, I would probably have ahead of him, but that's about, let's look at the guys after him. Shakir, I might have taken Shakir over him. It's close. Coleman, Higgins, Keenan, I'm not taking any of these guys over him. So Javonte Williams at 118. Dear God, these guys are pushing running backs. Oh my gosh. Okay. And Ja'Cory Krosky going before Joe Mixon, that to me just looks extremely wrong. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know, but I get it, man. But good God, this just is too early for me, man. I'm out on Ja'Cory. The hype is just too much. It's just too much. Kincaid and Njoku, Palmer. I want to see what the board looked like. Quinshon. In my 12-man PPR, I got Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, I'm going to assume, and Brian Thomas. Is that an A-plus draft? Yes, that is an A-plus draft. I don't know how you got Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, and Brian Thomas. That's insane. So, I don't know how they let you do that, but especially Brian Thomas Jr. if it's in the third, I don't know how you got Brian Thomas Jr. in the third. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I would say that's a pretty good draft. I would say that's one of the better drafts. We need home run upside, so we're going to draft for home run upside here with these next two picks. Like I said, I've been making a bet against James Conner all offseason, so I'm just going to continue to make that said bet with this next couple picks here. What's Myers requesting? Is he requesting a trade? Yes, Myers just requested a trade. Personally, I think it's contract stipulation. I don't really think there's going to be anything to it, but we never know, obviously, with these things. So, a holdout could happen, and that's why we got him cheaper here. Could not, and could be nothing, and they just sign him, which, I mean, take that for what it is. But I think getting Myers at that discount right now is really nice. I like Brock Bowers as well. Kind of hedging that a little bit on this draft. But yeah, Jacoby Myers is requesting a trade out of Vegas. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's probably going to take a few days to play out, maybe a few weeks. We'll see. We'll see. I got Brian Thomas in the second, with Jonathan Taylor in the third. Jonathan Taylor in the third is a really good value. Eckler at 140, that's a really good pick. Like I said, this team here is probably going to require some running back depth here. We really got our 4 receivers. We got our elite tight end. We got our quarterbacks. The tight end position probably going to be like a Jatavion Sanders at the end, or I don't really think we get Hunter Henry this next round. There's no need to. I think we can just go based off the rushing upside alone for Drake May. That's a good pick, and we keep it pushing. Feeling a little bit under the weather today. Like, good grief. Demario Douglas, Najee Harris at 147. At least somebody listened to me and said took Najee Harris before pick 160. I feel like that's just an insane value. Doesn't he have Hampton? I thought he had Hampton for some reason. Trey Harris off the board. Like I said, we got to swing for the fences at running back because we need somebody to break out here. Pretty much. We're going to need some stability somewhere. Whether that be Justice Hill, Nick Chubb, whatever. I think this is one of those teams where we could take 2 guys in the same backfield like Chubb and be fine. So then my 4th round pick was Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah, that's a really good start in a 12 team especially. Let's see. Cedric Tillman or Dobbs. I think we're going to go Dobbs. I like Dobbs a little bit more. We can go both of them realistically. Let's go with both of them, actually. Actually, we're going to get Thornton. No, we're not going to take the triple. We'll go Cedric Tillman. That works. I almost wanted to take Thornton there, but nah. I'm not going to take the chance of having a triple Vegas stack with no Geno. So. I do think we're probably done at receiver, though. Or pretty close to being done at receiver. Running back wise, We definitely need another running back. A couple running backs for sure. Let's see. What can we do to get some running back here stability? We need some stability there because we have none at the moment. Because realistically speaking, Harvey, this is a big risk at RB, is basically what we're swinging at here. This is a pretty big RB room risk. Because Aaron Jones, we think, will be the starter. I'm about 90% sure he'll be the starter. And he's never been a, big touchdown guy anyway. So, it is what it is with him. Harvey, we're hoping, can become the RB1. Mixon, we're just banking on him, missing maybe a few weeks at best. Tootin, we hope he just takes over the role. They trade away a vet. Trey Benson, James Conner ends up going down with injury or just is showing regression, and Benson has some standalone value. That's the way we talk our RB room into good terms. Into bad terms, J.K. Dobbins is better than R.J. Harvey, and R.J. Harvey ends up being just a receiving back like Javonte. Aaron Jones gets injured and beat out by Jordan Mason. Joe Mixon is injured all season long, and they just don't run the ball hardly at all. And Woody Marks ends up being on the field more than Joe Mixon, and they throw the ball a lot. Bashal Tootin ends up being a one-man special teams, and Trey Benson is still the just backup behind James Conner, who literally doesn't get to do anything. There's your counter argument to every running back on my team. So, yeah, take that for what it is. I would love to get Will Shipley, and I think I would love to get Roshan or Woody, and we just make the bet that Woody Marks and Will Shipley makes sense here. Because if we get Will Shipley, that is an upside swing at the end of the day. I don't think Chris Rodriguez is all that good. I don't think he's that good. We'll just do that. We'll just double tap the running backs here. Makes sense too. So now we have Woody Marks, Will Shipley. Makes a lot of sense for this room. Saquon injury, you automatically have a guy that was picked 180 that could be a top 15 running back. And there's your way back into relevance at running back. Same with Benson. Mixon, he could be an RB1 if he's healthy on the field and ready to go. Aaron Jones, we know where he is. He's just kind of there. Harvey has the upside to, smash on that backfield in Denver. So that's where we're at there. And our receiver room, obviously, we got a Monroe who can smash. Terry, we like Terry and Jaden together. Zay is a really good, steady guy. Myers, I feel like this news just discounted him quite a bit. There's nothing that's really changed. I think regardless of scenario that Jacoby Myers goes to, we've seen him produce in some of the worst of the worst. Obviously, he had a 1,000-yard season last year, but he didn't get as many touchdowns. So that wasn't even his best fantasy season. So we've seen him be a red zone threat. We know we can pencil him in for 100 targets or so. We know we can pencil him in for about 800 yards. He's a healthy guy who can stay on the field. I like the Myers pick at 84 there. Dobbs, another guy who's on the field quite a bit, who can flash some touchdown upside as well. Obviously, it's year-to-year dependency on the touchdowns, but I do think Dobbs is a guy we can pencil in, for 80 targets or so, 600 yards and like 7-8 touchdowns, 5-6 touchdowns, I guess. It's kind of more so where we're at with him. I think it's a really good pick. I do think we could go Geno Smith if he falls to us this last round. I don't think he's going to, but if he does, take that for what it is. Geno Smith as a last-round pick. That's pretty solid for a third quarterback if we want it for the stability purpose. And then we got to take a tight end, obviously. If we want to be done at running back and receiver, we can be. We can take a third quarterback if we want to, especially as big of a value as Geno is here. That's definitely a thing we could do if it falls to us. If it doesn't, that's fine. I don't really need a quarterback. But when it's this cheap, you kind of got to take it if it's there. So tight end wise, we need to start looking at those. Jawan Johnson's one of my picks that I like to pick. Higbee is another one. Not really a big Waller guy. Theo Johnson could be a decent pick. Those are kind of the guys off my radar or on my radar here. Stafford's also still sitting here, which is pretty nice. I do think we have enough at receiver to be fine. He has no Vegas. He has no Vegas. So realistically, we might get Geno here in the last round, which is extremely good value. And we just take Higbee or Juwan. Honestly, Juwan Johnson's not that bad of a pick. What RBs do you like over Hampton overall? We can look at it after this draft, and then I'll tell you. And then I'm probably going to end stream. A 3.762 is most likely what we're looking at. If not, we'll take Coker. I mean, I'll take Coker at the end here. That's fine. If he takes Geno. He doesn't. I mean, honestly, does this team really need Geno? No, it doesn't. I'm not going to take Geno. Screw it. I need Coker in this team. I need that last receiver. All right. I needed the last receiver over Geno. I really wanted to take Geno, but I just couldn't. So we got Jaden, Drake, Harvey, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Bashal Tootin, Trey Benson, Will Shipley, Woody Marks, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers, Romeo Dobbs, Cedric Tillman, Jalen Coker, Brock Bowers, Juwan Johnson. I cannot believe no one has taken Geno Smith. That is kind of shocking to me. Just as a third quarterback. Like, this team here would be perfect Geno Smith suitors. Let's see. This team here would also be a good Geno Smith suitor. This is a perfect team to take Geno Smith on. I get it. You have two elite guys. You have the three running backs here. You take Geno Smith on this team at that value. You just have, and he doesn't do it. Like, Geno Smith really just went undrafted, and you took Aaron Rodgers over Geno. Like, I don't get it. Aaron Rodgers over Geno Smith is insane. I'm just going to be real. Kareem Hunt, like, wow. Geno Smith really just went undrafted in this lobby. And he is 110% the starting quarterback, by the way. That's gross. Please tell me this guy takes him. He's got to take him, right? Wow. A lobby with no Geno Smith getting drafted is just nuts in my eyes. He didn't take him. Wow. Okay. Nobody took Geno Smith. Interesting. Okay. I mean, if I didn't have Drake May, that would have been insane value for me. But I had Drake May. So, all right. I'll answer that last question about Amarion, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the guys I'm taking over from Hampton, obviously Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, CMC, Genty, Henry, Achane, Brown, Bucky, Taylor, Jacobs. I'm probably taking Kyron over him, and then that's where the list cuts off. I'm taking Hampton after that. I think you could take Hampton as high as over Jacobs, but I think that's a little aggressive. I think Kyron's kind of the last guy that like you can debate. I'm definitely James Cook. It's close. I think I might take. I think Omarion Hampton and James Cook are very preference-based. I think I'd take Hampton over James Cook, though. It kind of depends on Najee's news, too. If Najee's ready to go, then I would probably take James Cook over Hampton. If Najee's not ready to go, I'm taking Hampton over James Cook. That's how I would answer that. So. Of Kyron versus Hampton. If it's today, I'm taking Kyron over Hampton. If it's today. Yeah. That's who I'd take is Kyron over Hampton today. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. We'll see what the Jacoby Myers news entails. Hopefully, we get some clarity. I think that we got a really good discount on him. Obviously, he could be a wide receiver 3. And we did just get the Joe Mixon news, by the way. Joe Mixon is on the injury reserve. So Joe Mixon officially is on the IR. So where did that go? Let me see if I can find it again. I just saw it, and it went away. Are not, here we go, is out for the first 4 games of the season. All right, here we go. Joe Mixon is officially out for the first 4 games of the season. That's fine. Honestly, that's fine. Don't rush him back. That's fine with me. I think this is going to drive Nick Chubb's price up quite a bit. He's going to become too expensive for me. He's on the pup. That's fine, honestly. I'm okay with it. Taking him at pick 100 and something, I'd rather him get right than not get right and force himself in. That's how I feel. So I think that's good for the bags of who we just drafted. Obviously now we know. So now we can factor that in. We might get Mixon even cheaper now in drafts. So we'll see. But at least we know now. So at least we know that it is going to be a 4-game, thing with him. And, it is what it is. Hopefully, he's back after 4 weeks. First 4 weeks are Rams, Bucks, Jags, and Titans. That's a pretty tough stretch to miss, honestly. Rams would have been a little bit tough. Bucks and Jags, he would have shredded. Titans, tough matchup. So 2 out of the 4, you really wish you had him. But it is what it is. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do. And, take it for what it is. Your Joe Mixon shares, they're not super high. They're getting higher. They're a little bit above average. They're a little bit higher than what they are. I've drafted him a lot more recently. So hasn't hit the news yet here. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. You can see we have 2 Colts up top here. I kind of don't love that, but it is what it is. That's kind of where we've been at. And I think one of these 2 is going to be the guy that we want to have. So makes sense. But yeah, anyway, that's going to do it for me. If you guys are liking the content, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. And I am off of here until next time. I will see you guys later. Peace.